Hey, Formula One fans, this is Rory. You're in Paddock Headquarters. Thank you for watching the program. You know I drop a video, all things Formula One, every single day. Let's get right into the qualifying session today. So let me set the table a little bit. The third practice session before qualifying was very wet. The cars at one point, none of them were even on the track during the timed session because of the changing weather conditions. They waited it out. Ultimately, that rainy, wet conditions carried into qualifying. And especially in Q1, we had several cars slide right off the track into the gravel. There was several problems and instances that occurred. Logan Sargent, the American, almost immediately, as soon as I think it might have been his first lap, Q1, he slides off. They throw a red flag because there were several cars that ultimately ended up going right real close to each other, caused some issues, which threw gravel on the track. And I guess it was enough gravel where the stewards wanted to clean it up before continuing with qualification. So if you saw qualifying, that first session, that first initial few minutes, really a lot happened in a short period of time. Fernando Alonso caused some damage in Q1, which ultimately affected him in Q3. Fernando Alonso, one of the Spaniards, returning to Spain, hopefully trying to get a podium here, has a lot of fans in Barcelona, throughout the country as well, at the Spanish Grand Prix. Also, Carlos Sainz, the other Spaniard racing for Ferrari. We'll talk about him when I go over the positions very briefly, but Carlos has his own grandstand there at the Spanish Grand Prix. There's 3,500 fans that can fit in his section. There's going to be a lot of people cheering him on, and he gave him something to cheer for today. So he qualified second. He's starting P2 tomorrow, which is very exciting for Ferrari. They needed the bump, even though Charles Leclerc finishes, I think, 19th. So he's in the bottom 5. So let me just continue to set the table here. So there was wet, slippery conditions. A couple incidences happened during Q1, which I think affected the rest of the Q sessions. Now, there is opportunity tomorrow because in the top 10, starting tomorrow, there will not be one Mercedes, one Red Bull, and one Ferrari. So 3 of the top teams, one of their cars is not in the top 10. And Sergio, he goes off the road. He has trouble again. He comes in. Where is Sergio? Sergio is 11th. He's starting 11th. So he has some work to do. Now, because those 3 teams had one of their cars finish in the bottom 10 or lower, that creates opportunity for some of these other teams. There is a real chance that obviously Carlos Sainz is starting second, and Lando Norris for McLaren is starting third. Pierre Gasly finished P4, but it does look like he's going to be penalized for impeding other cars. So the stewards are going to meet, I guess, tonight, and they'll determine that he most likely will not be starting P4 tomorrow. He'll be starting probably 9th or 10th. He could drop 3 places, and he could potentially drop some additional places. So he might actually start 10th tomorrow. So even though Pierre Gasly is in P4 right now, there's a very, very good chance he's not going to be starting there. And who is after him? Hamilton. He didn't have the confidence in the car even yesterday, but made a really good run, and he is starting 5th tomorrow. We have Stroll, Ocon at 7, Nico Hülkenberg at 8, good job for him, and Fernando at 9, and then ultimately we have Oscar Piastri at P10. So that's your starting top 10. And I want to point out one of the things that I'm looking forward to, not only is there opportunity for another car to hit the podium that we haven't seen hit the podium yet, but that competition after the Big Four, especially between Alpine and between McLaren, should really be good tomorrow because both McLarens are starting in the top 10, with Lando starting 3rd and Piastri starting 10th. And both Alpines will be starting in the top 10. Ocon, where is he at? Ocon is at 7, and Gasly right now, like we said, is at 4. But it's a wide open track. There may be rain tomorrow. There should be a lot of overtaking. I do expect Sergio in the Red Bull and George Russell to move their way up towards the top and compete because they should have really faster cars. But there's a lot that can go on. There's going to be at least 2 pit stops. And I really expect, either a Ferrari or an Alpine or a Mercedes to hit that podium tomorrow. And it's going to be exciting because we want to mix it up. The same, it's continuing for Max. He really is in a zone. Verstappen is just incredible. It's the right driver at the right time with the right car. And unless he makes a mistake or has some kind of mechanical failure, nobody will be able to touch him. That's the truth. And we will see tomorrow if that continues to play out for yet another race. Of course, after this race, we have a break, and then in 2 weeks, we go to Montreal. But let's get through Barcelona first. It should be an exciting race. Yesterday, I said I thought there might be some surprises on Sunday. It does look like we're positioned for a couple of surprises. The only other thing that I took a hit on is I think if anyone was going to be competitive and really be able to take advantage of Max, if there was a slip-up or a mistake, was Fernando. And Fernando did not qualify very high, so he's got some ground to make up. He'll still have a fast car tomorrow, but especially because his teammate Stroll is P6. So the Aston Martins are quick, and there's going to be some overtaking. There's going to be some strategy. It should be really, really good. Communication will be important. The weather will be important. So I'm looking forward to a great race tomorrow. Those are the highlights for me with qualifying. I don't know if you watched it or not. It's worth watching the last session if you haven't watched it. But watch road conditions tomorrow. There are a couple surprises, I think, in store. Congratulations to Carlos for getting P2. Congratulations to Lando for getting P3. And Gasly, he did a good job, but I don't think he's going to be starting 4th. I do expect the Alpines to be very competitive tomorrow. So thank you for watching. I will drop another big post-race show tomorrow, probably in the evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.